What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic, and today's exclusive project. This is a Patreon exclusive from Payne, aka Deadbob777. It's the 2015 Dodge Charger. This HS custom model, I believe, is a separate one as well, given to me by Pi Newton, this one, just to play around with, show you guys some stuff, and have some fun with it. So this is what we're going for today, the 2015 Dodge Charger HS Customs. As I said, Patreon exclusive to Payne, aka Deadbob777. Linked in the description below. Gas Monkey, Garage Monkey level, something along those lines, if you want to sign up to the Patreon and get access to this Dodge Charger, along with a few other exclusives that we have shown on this channel before, plus another one that is coming up very, very soon that I'm definitely looking forward to. I believe this is available in all of the places, although again, this is the HS custom one that doesn't come with the actual model, but everything else will come with the model, don't worry. I'm not sure if all the parts for this do come with the model, just this is the one that's specifically put together by Pi Newton, or maybe somebody else, maybe Multiply. I'm not sure. I believe he has an involvement in it somewhere along the lines. But anyway, let's get into this. It's available from all of the places. We got it from the auction house, and it's in pretty good condition. 62 for the frame, 61 for the parts, 48 for the interior, 34% for the body. So we've got a bit of work set out ahead of ourselves, but we should be all right. Did we get a good deal for this beautiful Dodge Charger? Yes, so he did. 34,851 is what I paid, and I could currently sell it for 35,642, making 791 profit before we even begin. I'm very happy about that one. The engine in this wonderful beast is the V8 Hemi 6.1. I did ask you guys if you wanted to swap anything, swap it into any other engine listed here, but nobody said anything, so we're going to keep it with that 6.1 Hemi, pumping out 560 factory horsepower. I'm definitely looking forward to this one. We are going to be drag racing this beast on the drag strip. They shouldn't be open. Let's close them. We're obviously going to be drag racing this beast, trying to get that one into the top 10 speederboard. Will we be able to do it today? We've had some pretty good luck recently and been very, very close in the previous episode, coming in 11th place. So today, we definitely want to try and get it into the top 10 if we can, but we won't be too disappointed if it doesn't. So let's get back over to it. We've got our work cut out with this beautiful Dodge Charger. It is a wild, crazy edition. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. Let's get started. Let's get this beautiful beast into the car wash. Let's get it all cleaned up. In the car wash then, let's get this beautiful Charger all cleaned up and ready to go. What colour is it underneath all of this dust and grime? Oh, you look like you're a beautiful blue. That is a nice looking blue. Do we stick with that colour? That does look good, especially with the white lights at the front there. I think that's looking pretty incredible. Very impressed with that. Not sure if it's what we're going to stick with. We're checking out the paint shop all a little bit later on. Obviously, you've already seen the thumbnail. You know what colour I've decided for, but I haven't fully chosen yet. For the minute, I'm quite liking that blue. But anyway, let's get this beast back on the lifter. Get that engine ripped out of there. Get all of everything underneath stripped down and ready to go. Hopefully looking incredible. The Charger's in the air. It does look good from that rear end. I don't think this has got a rear bumper on it. No, I don't think that's missing. I think that's how this one is designed. Maybe to come with a body kit later on. Who knows? But let's get in and check for the oil pan on that Hemi. There is an oil pan there, so let's get all of that drained out. All clear for us to rip the engine out without making a mess on the floor. That's pretty clean, I'm not going to lie, and there's quite a lot of it in there. A well-looked-after Dodge Charger. We don't see that very often. Let's jump in and get started with our cheeky little starter just round here. And our first rusty bolt. Out you come as well. Nice and easy. Onto the drive shaft. Out you come. You are clipping with the fuel tank just a little bit, but we can live with that one. Tiny little bit of clipping isn't the end of the world. Let's get on and get this gearbox out of here. Just the one rusty bolt so far as well. Very happy with that. And we will also grab this front exhaust section. Just the front exhaust section. We'll leave the rest of it in there for the time being. But let's get a go. Getting that Hemi ripped out of that engine bay. Down you come. Get the engine crane over. And see if we can pull this engine out of this beautiful car. It is fantastic looking. I do love this car. Pull you out. Get that crane put away. Get that crane put away. And then see what we've got going on inside the engine bay. Once we jump in here, there is a lot going on in here. We got our ABS pumper module weirdly mounted on the side there, sideways facing. I'm not sure why that is. Washer reservoir just here. Fuse box up here. Anything else around there? I can't see it. Oh, there's the ECU Type B just resting up on the dashboard. Then we got the radiator fan housing kit with double fans, a lovely air filter cover, a coolant reservoir, wishy-washy reservoir, and a brake servo just up there. Where is the battery? We must have a battery. Let's have a look. Is it down the back? Obviously, there's our fuel tank and fuel pump. And there we have our battery just sitting down the back. Nice and easy. All the suspension is on, which always fills me with hope that it is all going to be complete and I won't have to replace that much, or at least I'll know exactly what I do have to replace, which is always a good sign. And from what I can see from here, it all looks like it is attached as well. Absolutely fantastic from this beautiful Dodge. But now we need to drain the liquids. We all know how to do that. Right click, additional tools, drain tool, this one up here, and then click on hold on the container and it will drain all the liquids out. I'm going to get the rest of the liquids drained, the engine bay and suspension all stripped out. And then when we come back, it'll be time to sort out this beautiful Dodge's bodywork, getting it all back together, how it came apart, looking fantastic for this HS Customs Edition before putting it into the paint shop, checking out the liveries and some factory colours. Now that's that beautiful Hemi and all the suspension repaired, replaced or upgraded, ready to go back on. But before we can do any of that, we need to sort out all of this bodywork. So let's just start stripping it off. That beautiful looking carbon fibre hood, the wonderful front end. All the headlights are separate on there. Out you come. And so is that front end on there. I'm loving that colour. I'm hoping we can play around with that. Maybe there'll be some other options in the shop. All looking good off there. Then we got these wide body front fenders looking fantastic. Just the one on one side. The massive spoiler and rear body fenders on there. Out with these doors. Out you come, out you come. And the windshield off you come with a stripe on it as well. Oh, looks like we got... oh, a lot going on there. There's a front clamshell piece, which is most of the roof. Then we got car part 3, which is all the roll cage and stuff. Obviously, we're going to grab the seats in a bit anyway. Another side skirt down on that side, missing lots over there. Then we got car part 2, which is all of the suspension. Exhaust is the words I was looking for. Do have a license plate on there, which obviously doesn't sit on a bumper because this one doesn't have one. Oh, rear window, spoiler, window and louver vents in one piece. That's quite nice. Is that a part? Doesn't look like it. Then we've got another spoiler on there. Trunk and trunk light pieces, plus a few other bits. And the left and right tail light. Is that everything on this beautiful Dodge Charger? Obviously, apart from that interior. 1% on there, so that's always a good sign. But let's get in and get this interior out. Not sure how I feel about these seats, but maybe we'll go with them. And obviously, a Dodge steering wheel. It's actually from the Challenger Hellcat. But there we go. Right, now is that well and truly everything? 1% on there. And nothing showing up on there. I could have seen because we can swap the frame if we want to. But I am definitely sticking with this HS Customs model. Let's get back in. The frame's at 62%. I bought the car for 34 and just under 35,000. That was such a struggle and I've got no idea why. I think this one might sell for sort of middle range sort of money. I'm going to go for a classic 1500. 500. I'm really, really bad at this. I should probably stop it. But anyway, let's jump in and have a look at the body shop. Fresh import goods, the newer Dodge Charger. On there we click, and then 15 pages to play around with. There are lots of options on this. I'm pretty confident I'm not going to change most of the body. I'm going to pin it back together the way it came apart, using one of these two front bumpers, the wide body, but still bringing it in at the front. I think it looks fantastic. As for the clamshell, I'm pretty confident, again, we're just going to go back in with whatever was in it. I think it might be that one there. The front end I absolutely loved, and it had these bits in it with, like, the lights. Oh, we've got orange, we've got pink, and we've got purple in there as well. Maybe some of these are a couple of other colours that don't really show up that much. I like in the white. Did look very good in the white, but it depends what base colour we go with. Orange is always a good shout, and that purple does look quite nice. We've got plenty of door options to play around with as well. Not sure what they are. Maybe different colour interior, different style interior. We shall have to check them out. Lots of fenders. I'm not going to mess around with all of these. I'm going to pick the ones that came off it back on it just to make sure I get them right and don't mess it up. Lots more doors, lots more fenders, lots of hood options. Or we may have to play around with the hood. I'm not sure which one I feel like is going to go best with this one. We're obviously going to pick the one straight away that came off it back on, but we may test a few others to see what they look like. Plenty of headlight options. We can also blend in. Oh, I hope there's a green one. Is there going to be a green one of them lighty bits back up here? Where have they gone? Where have they gone? I'm hoping one of these may be green. Ah, that's such a shame if there isn't, because then that going with them green bits on the headlights, that would have been beautiful. But we could use the orange, the purple, the pink, or the white if we want to still. So headlight options, tail light options, mirror options. That looks like a camera. Not sure how I feel about that. More tail light options, one with some little spoilery bits on there. Loads of rear bumpers, but we don't actually have a rear bumper installed on this one. It is just not there. Plenty of rear doors, side skirts, fenders on the windows as well as on the side skirt, so we probably have to mix a few of them together to get it to work properly, but I'm hoping it will just go as it came apart. We don't have to worry too much about it. Lots more of them. The louvered vents and giant spoiler. I definitely think we're going to stick with one of them. Oh, I do quite like them closed off vents. They look a bit different. Something fancy for us to play around with. Headlights, taillights, mirrors, trunk pieces. There's not really that many trunk piece options, so we'll play around with them a little bit. Maybe carbon fiber, I'm not sure. Tail lights or main tail lights, and then obviously we've got the side tail lights on there. Badging, we can definitely do black badge or lots of other badge options if we want to. A blanking piece, I believe, for the right tail light, and a couple of windshield options, one with that bar across the top. That was quite a lot to go through on there, so there we go. We've got it all stripped down. I'm going to go and repair what I can repair, because we are putting this back together as pretty much exactly how it came apart. May play with the lights, the hood, maybe the trunk and the spoiler bits, but pretty much how it came apart. So I'm going to go repair what we've got, buy what we need, then we can get this beast back together and into the paint booth. And while we're here, don't forget to check out the merch. Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 branded items. 2 different designs on there, available on a t-shirt, jumper, or a hoodie. And while you're there, check out all the other Virtual Mechanic branded stuff. Maybe grab yourself a mug, a cap, a beanie, or one of our t-shirts or hoodies on there. Be awesome if you could. That's virtualmechanic-shop.fourthwall.com. Now I'm going to go repair all these body panels. I'll be back in a moment. Let's start getting this body all back together then, so we can get it into the paint shop and pick some lovely colours. For the hood, I just stuck with the standard hood that came with it, the hood Q. It looks very nice on there. I already know it fits with that engine because it came with it. All the kind of things like that. The next thing we are going to go is we're going to sneak to the inside to make sure we can hit this. Stuck with the car part 3F, which is the inner roll cage without any seats. You can have seats at the back if you want them. I decided we didn't want to go for it. And for that front clamshell, we're going to stick with what came on it, the carbon fiber B1 running up through there. It looks pretty good. Plus it goes with the carbon hood and all the things like that. Let's get the rest of this front end all together. Wide-bodied fenders, definitely sticking with them. Obviously, we did have to buy new ones to go on there, though. For this wonderful, actually, before we do the front bumper, I need to get that bit underneath it. Where can I get that from? Oh, down the back here, maybe? Car part 4, there we go. Let's get you in. The car part 4 is this front end piece. I'm sticking with that one. It came with it. I'm assuming it fits this bumper really well. So let's get that bumper on, which was the bumper Q. Again, what came with it, looking fantastic. I already liked the style of this build. Just wanted to change a few little custom accents, such as this front end. We've gone with that reddy orange on there. Same with the headlights. They were originally carbon fiber blanking ones, but I think that looks a lot meaner. Just a nice evil stance from the front there. Looking fantastic. Windshield, we kept with that banner on it. Looking very nice. I did play around with all of the doors. Very, very minimal difference between what I could see from this one. I only played with the left door. I bought all of the different styles of the front left door, and they all looked very similar. Some of them had a bit darker stitching, so if I just nip round to the other side, this bit here was a little bit darker on some. There's a stitching line that runs along here. This was missing on a few, so it's just mix and match, play around with whatever you prefer. I just left it with the ones that came on there. They all look pretty good, and they all went back together quite nicely. So in you go, in you go. We did change this mirror, though, into the smaller, more sleek-looking carbon fiber mirror that also sticks out a little bit further because this is a wide-bodied beast. Rear left fender, which is that side skirt, and this wide-body quarter panel on here. This part's in the door, so we didn't need to worry about it being on the window on there. I think that's all of that round there. Let's get round and get the other side. Round we go. In you go. On with the side skirt and fender. Window, rear door, mirror, and the other window just up there. On you go. And then round to the back. We have no rear bumper, so we can just go straight on with our blank license plate. For the rear window, I did go with that louvered one. Like kind of reverse louvered, I guess. I think it looks fantastic on there. Very mean looking, very aggressive. And obviously a carbon fiber trunk to go with all of that as well. And the extra carbon fiber lip spoiler because it was already on there, and it looks pretty good blending on with all of that carbon fiber. Loving that. Sticking with the carbon fiber theme, we also kept with the carbon fiber darkened lights and stuck with the same lights on either side as well, so we had to change all of that out. Now, this, remember I said about that little square piece? That's the little square piece. If you don't have the badges, that's where you will find that little square piece is absolutely tiny. So good luck finding it. But once you've clicked on it, it's nice and easy. And now, obviously, we can use the rest of this to take that out. But if you don't want the badges and you just want that little square piece, let's just go back into the shop. Little sneak peek of the interior that I've just bought for this one. Where's that little square piece gone? There it is. So all of these, as you can see, you can replace the badging with any badging you want, or this little squared out piece if you don't want any badges at all. So you can just pop that piece in and it sits just there, obviously, when you don't have the badging on. So there we go. We have in the badging on. It is black on the carbon fiber. I just quite like it. You know what I mean? I like black text, black badging, and all of the little black details. It's one of my favourite styles. But anyway, on with the exhaust. I did play around with a few of these. Car Part 2J is a chromey style exhaust with carbon fiber tips on there, and I think that goes with the rest of the carbon fiber theme we've had or have going on for this body, where it goes from the hood all the way up over down the back and then in to the exhaust, including them little mirrors on there as well, and a few little accents just on this front bumper, just on that lip. Actually, I thought some of these other bits had it in, but never mind. I'm not really bothered like that. I think it still looks absolutely fantastic. But there we go. That should be all the bodywork on. Let's crack on and get the interior in, and then we'll see if we really have got everything. You already saw it. I've gone for the Dodge Viper seats. We'll check them out, make sure there's no clipping. I also went for a Dodge Viper steering wheel as well, because why not? Keeping it on brand, but not at the same time. Now, if we jump inside, you will be able to see there is a tiniest little bit of clipping just here, but we're going to gloss over that. It does fit quite nicely the rest of the way, although it does sort of hover a little bit. But it's one of those things. It is what it is. I think they're looking pretty good in there. I'm quite happy with the Viper seats and Viper wheel, especially with that mean looking front end. But there we go. Did we get everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. We definitely did. Let's get this HS Customs Dodge Charger into the paint shop, check out the liveries, and see some awesome colours. In the paint shop then, with our very mismatched Dodge Charger. Looking very weird at the moment, but I'm hoping it will look very much better. Good England there in just a few moments. Let's have a look at the factory colours. We've got that beautiful metallic blue that does look incredible. I'm just not feeling it. Not with these reddy orange lights at the front there. Just not my cup of tea. Then we've got another beautiful metallic green on there. Does go a bit better with the orange, but I feel like if I carry on with that theme, it's going to look like a toy, and I don't like it when it comes out looking like a toy. So maybe not with the green. Then we've got this very deep metallic red, which is nice, but it's not quite close enough to that to make me want to go for it. So I feel like we're going to have to go for a completely separate colour. Let's have a look and see if there's any liveries first. There are no liveries, unfortunately. That's a bit of a shame, but never mind. Let's crack on and decide what sort of colour should we go for. An over-the-top purple, but then we might as well do the purple lenses. We did try the green. What if we went for like a teal blue and orange? Or teal green, maybe, however you want to call that. That does look quite nice. We could go for that, especially we've got no liveries. That's not a bad shout. Or do we go for something plain and we just go for like a pearl black and white with the carbon fibre? Obviously, some accents, extra carbon fibre we could throw in there. We've got plenty of black trim going around. We could just go for a plain black and white with this reddy orange, if I can blend that colour in there. Maybe get the seats in that sort of colour. Maybe do the seats white and black. Maybe try and throw some carbon on there. Do something with that roll cage. Maybe keep that in a pearl white. It looks a bit silver in there at the moment, but it might not be. But there we go. I think that's what I'm going to go for. I'm quite liking it in the bright white. Very pearl white on there, especially with all the carbon fibre. I think we can blend that in. And then I think if we go for bolts on the engine and suspension, maybe all black. It looks quite... Oh, no, it's very white in there, isn't it? Maybe we don't go for all black. Nah, we'll stick with all black and we'll see how it turns out. We can keep the block black, maybe go white with the heads, maybe that colour on the engine and the head covers. We shall see what we can end up with. I think that's what I'm going to go for. So we'll get you on there, all rims including, all bolts including rims. Make sure we've got that and the darkest possible colour we can possibly get it. And then I think we're going to go for it. Let's get you painted. Looking fantastic. I'm liking that. What do you think? Have I gone a bit too boring with it in a black and white or a carbon fiber and white? I like a bit of black and white or carbon fiber and white. But I do want to jump in here and just find out a piece, this piece here. If I can make sure those bolts have definitely gone a nice color black. They have. That's absolutely fine. That's all I wanted to see. Let's take you out of there and let's work on some other pieces. I think all the bodywork's going to be pretty fine as it is. Loving all the carbon fiber we've got on there, and obviously our rear bumper delete. I think we're going to keep, maybe try and get them so it's a matching chrome. We'll see what happens when we paint the rest of the exhaust a little bit later on. Definitely want to grab these seats out of here. I feel like the red's a bit too much. We maybe see if we can get a bit of some alternative colour onto that steering wheel. And the roll cage is all white in a pearl white. Excuse me. So I'm going to leave that as it is, I think. Maybe we'll change it a bit later. Maybe we'll also change the banner colour on the windshield. Maybe try and get that colour there if we can. That might be quite difficult. Don't know if we're going to be able to match that colour, but I'm going to do my best and see what I can do with it. So there we go. That's what we're going for on the body on this beautiful HS Customs Dodge Charger. I'm going to crack on and get everything else painted, and we'll get it back on the lifter and start getting this beautiful beast reassembled, ready to tear up the drag strip. That's everything painted on our beautiful HS Customs Dodge Charger. And you might be able to notice a few little bits aren't quite the same as they were before. Not much. Very few bits of chill have changed. For starters, obviously, we've got some of that orange on that Viper seats with some white piping around the edges and white centre. Might have to go to photo mode to get a better view of these ones. A bit difficult, but there we go. Round we go, looking very, very nice in there. As I say, we do have that tiny bit of clipping, but it is what it is. Them seats look fantastic, especially with that white roll cage in there. And we did also manage to get a bit of that orange onto the steering wheel, looking very nice, including a little bit in that stitching, which still looks a bit red. Maybe that is just red. Maybe that is the red natural stitching in there, and it's just my hope, thinking that I've changed it to that orange, but never mind. It still looks very nice. Quite pleased with how that turned out. Let's close that door. The badging down at the back, I've changed that to a white, obviously on that carbon background, looking very, very nice. And then if we swing up to the front, I think that's all that's changed from the outside. I don't think there's anything else, but if we jump into that engine bay, we've painted quite a bit in here. A lot of it in that carbon fiber. This is a carbon fiber. This is a carbon fiber. Even the shocks are carbon fiber. Air filter, carbon fiber. Coolant reservoir, carbon fiber. Even the power steering is a carbon fiber. And that brake servo is carbon fiber on there as well. Lots of carbon fiber going on in the engine bay. The fan shroud or the housing kit, that's also in a carbon fiber with some white fans and just a pearl black on the radiator. Chrome on the ABS pump, white on the module, and then obviously them black bolts in there. Looking very good. We'll cover the battery in a minute. Onto the suspension. Chrome cross member and a chrome knuckle on there with a white that's got a splash of black on the suspension arm. Carbon fiber, as I said, on the suspension on there. And then we've got the TKAftermarket performance sway bar in that beautiful orange. All the bushings in that beautiful orange as well. And an orange brake caliper to finish it off. All looking very, very nice. Let's get down the back. Oh, there's the ECU. I forgot that part. Fuel tank is just in a pearl black with an orange fuel pump on there. Couldn't see it because the red was hiding it, just about. But then the rear end is very similar to the front. Chrome on the cross member and on the knuckle just in there. And then white on all of the supporting arms with carbon fiber on the spring setup. Although it doesn't look very carbon. You can just about see it there. Carbon fiber on the spring setup and on the shocks. All looking absolutely fantastic. For the battery, we did a white tray, chrome support rods, and a carbon fiber on that cover on the top there. All looking very good, but it's nothing without, I'm going to keep that open actually, it's nothing without that beautiful Hemi engine. So let's get into the other room and get this Hemi engine all built and dropped in. So far, it's probably looking like it's going to be a little bit weird, but hopefully it'll look better by the time we get it all finished. The block has got that beautiful orange aftermarket colour, alternative colour, whatever you want to call that, and steel black on there. Steel black on the oil pan, and then that beautiful orange on the engine heads. Inside each head, you do have 8 push rods and 8 spark plugs on either side, so 16 of each of them in total, and a pair of rocker arms, or sorry, a set. That's one piece for both rocker arms on there. So one of each of them for each side. Let's get on and get this rest of this engine all together, starting with the timing cover on the front. It's in orange, but it's white. Just a tiny splash of orange on that ring piece just there, looking very good. The water pump up here is orange, but it's black and orange, mixing it all up a little bit. All of these bolts will go black when they are in the car. Water pump pulley is in a steel black on there, along with the crankshaft just down here. Also got the alternator in that steel black on you go. And then we did get a splash more colour on the power steering pump with steel black and that orange on there. Looking very nice. And again, the bolts will go black. Oil filter down here is in that orange, but not forced, just over covered. So you still got all the lettering and text on there, and the colour is quite close. So we're happy with that. Idle rollers in the beautiful orange on you go and on you go. And we should be able to get a belt on, which I have done again in a white. I am quite liking the white belts at the moment. I don't know why. Normally I'm a matte black belt kind of guy, but these are looking good in the white. Belt tension on there, just in a naturally finished orange, so you get a bit darker around the wheel, but the main body of it in that orange. Looking very good so far. Let's jump up to our engine head covers on you go. These are in, it's just about see it, a carbon fibre weave, same as we've got on a lot of our coolant reservoirs and stuff like that. In you go. Then our ignition coils are all in a lovely pearl white on there, finishing them off. And we've also got our fuel rail covers, which are in black and pearl white. The lettering just in pearl white, everything else in a steel black. Looking, again, very good on there. Let's nip round to the other side and get this all in. Up to the same spot, bolt you all in. The bolts will go black again. On this, you won't notice them so much, but I still think it's going to give it a bit of definition once it all comes together. Let's get on this fuel rail cover for this side. I love how, by the way, how it's called a fuel rail cover, but the fuel rails actually sit up behind it in just a minute. But again, steel black, white lettering, looking fantastic. Onto this big old intake manifold. It's in that orange, but it's chrome and orange, looking very good. These bolts will be very visible when it goes in the car in the black. Onto that chrome will look fantastic. Yes, fuel rail cover, but the fuel rails sits above it. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, let's get these on. These are in orange and white, mostly in the white on the top there, just finishing that off, adding a bit more definition to that engine. I think it looks fantastic in my opinion. Fuel filter down the back in the orange, and we'll swing back around the front to get on this big old throttle, which is in orange and chrome, just matching in with that beautiful intake on there. Loving that thing. It looks very, very wild at the top end. We've just got a couple more splashes of chrome to go on these exhaust manifolds. Again, looking very good, and you'll see them bolts perfectly clear when it goes in the car. Let's get the other side done and get this beautiful 6.1 litre Hemi all finished and ready to drop in the HS Customs Dodge Charger. Let's get it off the stand and let's get it dropped into our beautiful car. Looking fantastic. Hopefully it will look incredible. The engine cranes over. Let's get this beautiful Hemi dropped in and see how good it looks inside that Dodge. I can just see all the chrome and a tiny splash of that darker orange. I'm not going to lie, but I'm blaming light reflection on that. It's looking beautiful. Very, very impressed with that one. And as I said, you won't see most of the bolts around this sort of area here, but if we scroll down to the front behind the radiator, there we go. You got lovely black bolts on all of that pieces just there. You can just about see them dotted around, but pretty much blended in. But it is looking absolutely beautiful. Very, very happy with that. Let's get you up in the air. Let's get you all finished off. Exhaust, gearbox, drive shaft, and that cheeky little starter needs to go in as well, which I do keep forgetting. So I'm going to make sure I remember it today. We're going to go straight in with the gearbox, which is in black and orange. Not very much orange on it. If we swing around to the other side in just a second, one orange plate just to blend it all in. Cheeky little starter is in a white, but not forced. It's using a solid white. Just to give it a bit of colour, but still keeping a bit of darkness on there and making the black bolts all visible. Onto our exhaust, we've got all chrome with a tiny splash of white just on these front pieces, looking very good. And then we'll get the rest of this all in, all chrome, all finished. Obviously, our cat delete pipes, resonator delete pipes, and then the rear mufflers on there. And then it does connect to that exhaust that sticks out the back that's part of the bodywork. But let's get the drive shaft in. Again, does clip with that fuel tank. And especially even more now that we've got the big chunky TKAftermarket one on there. But we're just going to live with it. It's one of them things. We won't be able to see it when we're outside of the car anyway. But there we go. All done. Just some wheels left to go. So let's just take a cheeky little walk out of here from underneath. Lots of chrome, carbon fibre, orange, white and black. All visible from the underside. All looking very good. And then we've obviously got those carbon tips on the exhaust with the chrome going all the way in and blending on through. All looking very good. Very pleased with that. That is this car pretty much finished off. I've got to top up some liquids. We've got to get these windows tinted, and I've got to sort some wheels out for this one. Not sure what to do with them yet, but let's crack on with the window tinting. If we just go around, I want to check lights. Definitely not doing anything with these rear lights. They're going to stay as they are. Windows are definitely going to be tinted just a black on this one or a dark, and I don't think I want to do anything with them front lights either. No lights down there. No fender lights, no side skirt lights, no trim lights. So I think it's just going to be the windows on this one. We will check what we can do, though. But I'll crack on with the windows, and I'll join you back in just a second. For the windows, we've gone for 100% coverage all round the back, as per usual, and a 70% on the front, which does look quite dark. So we will check that one in just a minute. But let's see what other bits we could play with. Front clamshell, I'm assuming because this is one of the versions that's got a sunroof, that's what this would change. Doesn't look like it's doing anything there, but not that I'm worried anyway. Front bumper, there's many different front bumpers, so I'm assuming some of them have got some light fittings in, and that would be what that's for. Left headlight, let's just see if we can do anything anyway. Doesn't look like it, but I'm not interested in changing that. Tail light, again, don't think I want to change this. I quite like the dark red. I mean, that's probably just going to take all the redness out of it and leave it a bit too dark, so I'm going to leave them as they are. Probably the same with the centerpiece as well. Yeah, we're leaving that one. And that is all of it. So we're not actually doing anything else apart from the windows on this one. Before we've decided if that's enough, let's take a seat inside. That is a little bit too dark. Maybe we'll go for a 60% coverage on that one. Oh, and see if that's going to be slightly better. So windshield, let's drop you down to 60 if I could get you on there nicely. And then we'll go quickly and get front left door 60 as well. And front right door 60 as well. We'll leave the backs because we don't need to see out of them. It's only for going forward and driving. Let's take a seat. It's still a bit dark, but I think that's going to be doable on the drag strip. We should be able to see it's a bit lighter on the track than it is inside the garage. If it's still too dark when we sit outside in the sun in a moment, then I'll go through and get it a little bit lower again. But as it stands for the moment, I'm happy with that. I think it all looks very good. I don't think I did too bad of a job blending in them oranges. It's definitely darker, the one we've gone for, than that. But I didn't want to take too much out of it. It would look too pinky, salmony sort of thing. So I'm kind of pleased with where it is. Although I do like the red ring, the much darker red ring that goes around in the headlight there. It is looking fantastic. But anyway, I'm going to get all the liquids topped up, decide what I'm going to do with these beautiful wheels on this wide body HS Customs Charger today. And then we'll get it all outside in the sun, get a new license plate on it before dynoing this beast and then drag racing it. Today, I've gone for Rim 4 on here. I like how it sticks out a little bit, playing in with that wide body 5-spoke, looking very modern and customized. So let's get in and see what we can do. I'm going to go with the pearl white we've already been using. In fact, I'm just going to make sure that is on pearl white. Thank you. And then I think we should just go for a steel black. The other option we could do is go for a base of the orange and use the white, because it is very similar to the white we're already using. But let's go to steel black for the moment and see if we've got some options. All black, all white, all black, white tub, black fascia. Have we got the other way round? That is pretty good. That's probably what we're going to go for. Is there a paint and mix? There isn't. But I do want to see if we've got anything we could do with, like, the orange. That isn't going to be... It's going to be too much, isn't it? Because it's going to be like the full face. So that's not bad. What if we went with the white on the fascia? No, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Let's just go again. Yeah, that would be too much, even with the white rim and white bolts. I don't think they'll go white because I've got them preset to black. No, I think we're going to go back to the steel black, back to our pearl white color. I'm just going to make sure it is pearl on there because I know I have used a solid. No, I don't want solid. I want pearl. Thank you. And I think that's actually the one we're going to go for. Mixed 4. Yeah, steel black. I'm just going to ping backwards and forwards to make sure it does work. And there we go. That's the rim we're going to go for. Let's get it painted and then attached to some tyres and then bolted onto the Charger. Just balancing this last rim now, and then we can get this side of the car all finished and get this beast outside in the sun. Looking fantastic. On with these rear rims. As I said, we are changing it. We're going for the rim 4, and for the back, you want a 21-inch rim, 325 width tyre with a 25 profile and a 150 ET on this specific version. On you go. Looking nice with the white and the black bolts, and then obviously our orange brake calipers, which are sat so far back because of the amount of ET we needed to bring these rear wheels out. I mean, even from under here, the brake caliper is behind the wheel. But anyway, onto the front, on we go up here. Rim 4, as I said, 21-inch still at the front, but 295 width with a 25 profile, and less ET at just 120 for this front rim. It still sits out very, very far, as you can see, but just not quite as far as it does at the back. Still very far out, though. Looking absolutely fantastic. That should be this car all fully done. Let's just drop it down on the ground. Make sure we got the wheels on all the right way around, which we did. That is looking absolutely fantastic. I'm very impressed with this one. She's all done. We just need to get a plate done and this one outside in the sun. Just one thing left to go on our beautiful HS Customs. Beautiful Dodge Charger. Absolutely loving how this one looks, even with that rear bumper delete, which I'm not normally that much of a fan of. Certain builds, obviously, that's got a rear bumper delete, but it's got two twin turbos sat out the back there, so that makes perfect sense. But anyway, off with this plain, boring, blank license plate, and let's go with our custom today, which is VM HS Customs. Because it wouldn't feel custom, should I say. There we go. Virtual Mechanic HS Custom abbreviated onto the license plate for this beautiful Dodge Charger. I absolutely love this. I think it looks so good, especially with the chrome, orange, black and white in that engine bay. Obviously, black bolts as well. I think it is absolutely fantastic. But let's jump inside and hear that beautiful Hemi purr. Let's get her started and see what she sounds like. Nice grumble. Very, very nice grumble from the Hemi. Give us some gas. Sounding incredibly aggressive and mean at that top end. Hopefully, meaning we should be able to win a drag tournament. Also, loving all the details in here. That mesh that's behind the dashboard there looks absolutely incredible. I'm loving how that looks. Everything in here looks absolutely perfect. Well done, Payne. Beautiful, beautiful work. But anyway, let's get this onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. Let's get this wide-bodied Dodge Charger Hemi-powered beautiful car on the dyno then. 560 factory horsepower. How much have we added today with our performance parts and tuning? Let's take a look. What's its drag rating going to be? Drag rating of A, 720. Not quite that full top end that we've done in the past few videos, which is a bit of a shame. Probably means this one isn't going into the top 10. We'll have to find that one out in a minute. But again, with 689 horsepower, 123% gained, 123, almost an engine and a quarter on there, bringing us up to 1,249 horsepower from this beautiful wide-bodied Charger. I'm absolutely loving this. The HM Customs Edition mixed with Virtual Mechanic. It is looking beautiful. But let's have a look at the gearbox tune we've gone for today. That's what we've gone for. 2.85 ratio, 82 kilometers an hour in first gear, up to a reported 364 at the top end of fifth gear. Although I'm not quite sure we'll get there in a quarter of a mile, but we will find out when we hit the drag strip in just a moment. We do have a fully tuned Stage 3 ECU in here, giving us 16% additional tuning, and you can learn how to easily do this perfectly every time by clicking the link in the top right hand corner up here, or the link in the description below, and watching the shorts video, less than a minute long, on the ECU tuning and how to do it perfectly every time. There's also one in the description below for doing the carburetors, but we don't have carburetors in this car. So if you're doing a carbureted car, check out that short, linked in the description below, to see how to perfectly do that one every time. But enough of that. Let's get this beautiful Dodge onto the drag strip, try and win a tournament, and see if we can squeeze it into the top 10 speederboard. Back to Juneway Stripe Raceway, this time with the 2015 Dodge Charger HS Customs. Let's get on with it. King of the Sands, quarter of a mile. We are in A-class, just not quite at the top end, which hopefully should mean not as many unicorns. Hopefully. Fingers crossed on that one. So let's enter that, pay our 1,000 entry fee, and see what we've got. I can't see any unicorns. No unicorns. I might have missed one, but as far as I can tell, no unicorns on there. Absolutely loving that. See what friends we've got with us. French Toast in the Murcielago LP670-4 Lit Edition. Loving that one. Who else have we got with us here? Channel Hobby in the ST Ford Fiesta Ken Block Edition. That should be pretty wild as well. Our first race is against Adam M in the Audi RS6 Avant DTM. That is a wide-bodied beast of an Audi that should be quite hard for us to beat. But anyway, there is only one way to find out if we can do that. Dodge Charger versus Audi RS6. Two wide-bodied, highly modified cars. Let's get in and see who's going to take the race for this first one. Two wide-body, modern-ish powerhouses on the start line, both looking absolutely fantastic. Do kind of prefer the Audi livery. It does look great, but I do like our white carbon fibre, black and orange-ish beautiful Dodge Charger. Can we beat the Audi in a race number one? I certainly hope so. Let's go. Come on, you absolute beast. Off the line. Little bit of squidginess there into second, into third. Where's the Audi? We are just pulling away from it as it stands. Let's get into fourth gear and get across the line. What sort of speeds and times for our first run? 9.865 seconds to the quarter of a mile. Definitely not quite onto the speeder board there, but 244 kilometers an hour. Did pretty good against the Audi, almost beating it by a second, and 24 kilometers an hour. Much higher speed we had there in the quarter of a mile. Fantastic little win from our beautiful Dodge Charger. Let's get into the next round, see who else made it through, and see if we can make it in towards the final. Unfortunately, we lost French Toast in the first round. Always a shame when that happens. I'm desperately trying to make that final happen. Naturally, though, I don't want to force anything. Channel Hobby did make it through in the Ken Block Ford Fiesta up there. Our next race is against a car that you're not supposed to see yet. That one is coming very, very soon. Two Pain exclusives from Patreon battling against each other on the drag strip coming up very shortly. We do also have the Super Snake Shelby Cobra versus the GT500 Super Snake Ford Mustang. Quite an ironic little build off there. Loving that one. Then the C8 Chevrolet Corvette versus the Pursuit Mode Batmobile, which isn't quite as good as the Speederboard Crusher, but is very good nonetheless. Let's get in with this race. Two Pain exclusives, Ferrari F40 versus the Dodge Charger. I cannot wait to build that Ferrari F40. It looks so good, and I do believe we've actually picked to build the competition version as well. So that's going to be pretty much exactly what we build. Don't know if we'll finish it in red, though. I might go for something a little bit different than classic Ferrari red. Anyway, Ferrari F40 versus Dodge Charger HS Customs. Who's going to take the win in this round and make it in to the semi-final? Hopefully it's going to be us. Let's go. Come on, you beast of a Charger. Off the line into second. Nice better gear change there into third. Oh, that Ferrari might just beat us. Are we going to lose to the Ferrari? Oh, I don't know. Across the line, what did we get? We did just lose. Oh, so close. That is a bit of a shame. We did have a better top speed at the end. Just couldn't quite get it all the way down. But a 9.897 seconds to the quarter of a mile is still a very, very respectable time at 246 kilometers an hour, which was ever so slightly faster than our first run, but time-wise was a little bit slower, which is a bit weird and ironic, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. That Ferrari F40 is insane. I am looking forward to building that one. That's going to be pretty fun on the drag strip. Definitely where we'll be taking that one after just seeing that absolutely smash us. And I don't even imagine that is fully 100% tuned up. But there we go. Sadly, we didn't make it through. The F40 did. Is Channel Hobby still in the core tournament? Let's get back. Let's see who's going to win this and then do one more quick 1v1 with the Dodge Charger. Channel Hobby did make it through, but he's now facing off against the Ferrari F40 Competition, which is going to be challenging. We already lost to it. How good is Ken Block's Fiesta going to be against the F40? We'll find out in just a second. The Super Snake Shelby Cobra beat the Super Snake Ford Mustang, and the C8 Corvette beat the Batmobile. So who's going to make it into the final? It is the Fiesta Ken Block versus the Super Snake Shelby Cobra. Who's going to take the title? It is the Super Snake Shelby Cobra. We did manage to get a little bit of winnings, winning our first race, sadly going out in the second round. But we only lost 250 because we paid 1,000 to enter, and we've already earned 750 back. Not too shabby at all. But there we go. Let's get back to the entrance, enter a quick 1v1, just so we can get a third time down, just so we can keep it like a base, an average time. We take the best out of the three, and that one will go on the speeder board and determine its position. We're back at the entry, so let's just get on with a quick 1v1. Stick with the quarter of a mile and 3 randomizations. 1, 2, 3. We're against the Hammerdal Strahl S. Absolutely wild. I think that's the twin turbo rear mounted one. That's going to be pretty wild. 763 drag rating versus our 720. Can we beat it? Let's go find out. Wide-bodied Dodge Charger versus the Egg. Some of you know exactly what I mean by that. but some of you won't. It is the Hammer Strahl S. Absolutely wild, a crazy hypercar versus our very much muscle car with a Hemi-powered engine. Who's going to take the win from our final race of the day? We've won one. We lost the second one. Can we make it 2 out of 3? Let's go. Come on, you little beast. Off the line. Into second. Oh, a little bit dodgy on that gear change there. But actually, our first one felt dodgy. And that was our best time so far. Into fourth. I think we are going to lose this one. I'm pretty confident we have. But yes, we did lose our last race. 9.847 seconds, though, to the quarter of a mile is actually our quickest time of the day at 246 kilometers an hour. Also our best speed of the day as well, or joint best, because our second run was also that good. But sadly, we did lose by exactly 100th of a second, and we were again a little bit faster. Just couldn't quite get that power down early. I reckon that's down to my bad start. Would that have made the difference? Not quite. Not quite. That didn't make that much of a difference, but there we go. Still pretty good. Still very impressed with this Dodge Charger, even though sadly it's not made it into the top 10. We will find out where it sat on the speeder board though, just not in the top 10. Let's get back to the garage, see where this has sat, and hopefully see if we can sell it on for a nice bit of profit. All finished then with this beautiful Hemi-powered HS Custom Dodge Charger wide body, looking fantastic. Not too shabby on the drag strip. Sadly, couldn't get it into the top 10, coming in 14th place at a 25 with a time of 9.847 seconds to the quarter of a mile and a speed of 246 kilometers an hour. Pretty good, just not quite in that top 10, which is a bit of a shame. But let's talk some facts and figures. We bought the car for $34,851 at the very beginning and could have sold it and made a profit of $791 at the beginning. But we didn't do that. We spent a further $100,160 upgrading, tuning, modifying, and painting this beautiful, beautiful beast. How you see it right in front of you now, pinning our total spend at 135,011 credits in total, which is pretty wild from this beautiful Dodge Charger. Can we make some money though? Let's get in and let's take a look. Well, there she is, all 100% complete. Just over 100,000 kilometers on this beast. From that 6.1 litre V8 Hemi engine, now pumping out 1,249 horsepower, up 123% from its starting 560. Absolutely incredible. We probably could have got more power if we picked the Hemi Hellcat, or maybe the supercharged engine. I'm not sure which one's more powerful, or even the twin turbo engine. Any one of these could have been more powerful than the other, so we could have swapped the engine out and maybe got a better time on the drag strip. So that's up to you to play around with if you do decide to grab this one for yourself. Now, but before we get to that, did we get a good deal? Did we get a good deal? Can we sell this one on for a profit? Is the precise words I was looking for. So let's have a look. We spent 135,011 credits to get here, and we can sell it for 147,129, giving us profit, tight margin still, of 12,118. Only just making back what we lost on the Z-Tech Experiment Ford Fiesta, where we lost 10,716, which is a bit of a shame. But there we go. Before we get rid of this beautiful Charger and take our bit of profit, don't forget you can get this one by signing up to Payne's or DeadBob777's Patreon. It's the only place that this one is available as it stands. Also, the Ferrari F40 is there. But this Dodge Charger could be entered into the competition if you want to go and grab this one and still enter our wonderful Discord competition. Now, there's also something very ironic going on here that probably won't ever happen again. We have 3 generations of Charger, actual Dodge Chargers, sat in the shop right now. We have the more modern 2015 Dodge Charger up here. Then we've got this slightly older, I think this is 2012 Dodge Charger up here. And then we've got the even older Dodge Charger up here. This one is not your standard Dodge Charger, I can tell you that now, but we'll get in. This is the 1969 Dodge Charger. So we've got 3 generations of Charger currently sat in the garage. Absolutely fantastic. But it is now time to say goodbye to our HS Customs, reducing us to 2 Dodge Chargers in the garage. 2 different generations, one though, so it still counts. Absolutely fantastic. Let's go and see a better glimpse at that Dodge Charger. This is what's coming up next. This will be my competition entry Charger. There is a lot going on with this one. You can see it's a completely different ride height. It's got wide body fenders on it. It's slammed down to the ground. And we've also built a custom transmission tunnel running right through the middle. That's because the drive shaft does clip through all the way through here, and the gearbox clips through up here, and some of the exhaust clips through down here. So I built a firewall and drive tunnel to cover it all up so that you couldn't see it anymore. But this is going to be absolutely fantastic. I am looking forward to this one. All I need to finish off is a livery for it. So let's get in and take a look. It is the Dodge Charger from 1969, and we've just called this one the VM Custom. Kind of a respect, actually, to the HS Customs one that we just did. Almost 200,000 kilometers on this one, and we got it from the auction house, and it's in pretty bad condition. Everything's less than 50%, but that is what it is. Did we get a good deal for it? Absolutely not. 71,708 is what I paid, and I could sell it for 66,822, losing out on 4,886 before we begin, which is always a bit of a shame. But there we go. The engine in this one, you've already seen it, is a Multiply's supercharged carbureted LS3. It can also be swapped to the supercharged LS3, which has got the blower on the top instead of the carbureted one. So if you do want access to this one, there is only one way to get access to this one, and that is to join the channel now, VM Garage Club. We'll talk about that one a little bit more in a minute. So you can get access to this one if you want it. By the time you see this video, it will already be on my Discord for you to play around with. So there we go. This is what we're going to be working on next, and I can't wait. Make sure you join us back here on Thursday for the beautiful VM Custom Dodge Charger, slammed, wide-bodied, highly powerful, with that carbureted LS3 motor in there. What did you think of the Dodge Charger HS Customs we did today? Beautiful, beautiful looking wide-bodied car. Is it going to be better than our classic retro Charger that we're going to do in the next episode? That'll be up to you to decide. But yeah, if you do want access to that Charger, not the Charger I've just showed you, the Charger that's coming in the next episode, or any one of my custom configs and liveries, hit that join button below for £2.99 a month. Become a member of the VM Garage Club, where I do share all my custom configs and liveries. I give early access, I show you sneak peeks of previous builds. Sometimes I ask for your help on builds upcoming. Like I've asked everyone what they think of that Charger, and no one said anything. Thank you very much, guys. But anyway, thank you very much, as always, to my channel members on screen now. You guys are absolute legends. I do appreciate every one of you. Just wish sometimes you'd engage a little bit more. I know it's hard. Most of us are in different time zones, so it's kind of hard to match us all together and all line up in one place. But there we go. It is what it is. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate every single one of you checking out my videos, watching the content, liking the content, leaving me comments, letting me know what you think. But do double check you are subscribed. It will unsubscribe you after a set period of time, and I don't know what set period of time that is. But anyway, again, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.